of shadows. Hi my angels, it's Hailey Reese, and I hope that you guys are having an absolutely fantastic morning, afternoon, or night, whatever it is for you when this video finally reaches you. I have so much to talk about with you guys, so much to share with you guys, and just like an overall update on what's been going on in this house. So many strange things have happened since my last video that it's actually video worthy. Like, I was sitting here like, oh my gosh, I have so many things I need to cover for this. I need to make a video now, and then if more happens, make another part, because this is just like a very fast growing list of odd things that have started happening here. So I hope that you guys are ready for an update. And like I said in my last video, I feel like somebody sent me a ghost, because it's like, for so many years I went with relatively peaceful living, and now it's like so many odd things are beginning to happen. Before I actually get into this video though, I would just like to announce to you guys that I am officially back on Patreon. I am so freaking excited about the content that's going to be coming exclusively to Patreon. I'm going to be sharing so many things that are going to be solely posted on there. So if you guys would like to support my channel and support me, I will have a link down in the description where you can join our Patreon family. But with that being said, just watching my videos is support enough, and I am so appreciative for you even being here watching today's video, and you by no means have to support in any other way other than just being a part of this family. With that being said, let's get into this update. So for those of you who this might be one of the first videos that you've seen on this subject, I filmed a video a few weeks ago on my boyfriend Tyler's channel. I will have that linked at the very top of my description, where we went into all of the strange things that have happened in this house since we moved in the end of January. The list is just crazy. I think it's like a 30+ minute video of us just going back and forth of all the weird and unusual and unexplainable things that have happened here, even down to the fact that we have seen versions of one another in the house only to find out that the person either wasn't home or it wasn't them. We've heard, well, I've specifically heard Tyler's voice calling for me when he was in fact not in the home at all. And I have seen the spirit of a man here in the house, specifically in the laundry room and in my guest bedroom. So I also did a video that will be linked down below on my update following that video with Tyler, where we talked about everything. And I shared with you guys that there was a couple of occasions where, for an example, I heard the voice of a man talking in the guest room only to open the door, nobody was there, and that I heard my name being called and things being spoken when nobody was home while I'd been filming in here. So many things had started happening, and I decided, you know what? I need to freshen this place up, and I need to make this place all the more zen. Like, I need to just bring the good vibes in here. So I went to a crystal shop. I spent a ridiculous amount of money on just like crystals and positive things. I'm actually going to do a whole video on Patreon just outlining all of my manifestation tools, all the crystals that I have and stuff. And I started making this mantle like here behind me. This is just a piece of furniture from IKEA, like a shelf from IKEA, and I started filling it with new stuff because I have a ton of crystals in my home from before. But I thought, you know what, why not make my office so like peaceful and zen? And I went and bought a ton of crystals and things that just sparked joy for me and had really good energy. So along with that, I bought different methods of cleansing and just like clearing the energy and space in my house, different things for me to burn and positive things for me to do. And so I got home and I completely like loaded up my shelf here. I put so many different things on it. There's even things like behind me, if you guys can see, there's like more levels below me that have things on them. And I just started adding things in and just making it as peaceful as possible. Now, why is this relevant? Well, the night that I first set up like the first like section of things, so just the first round of things that I bought, I'd taken a picture right before bed and sent it to my mom, and she'd said how absolutely beautiful it looked. I remember I took that picture right first thing before bed. I left the room and went to sleep. The next morning, I woke up, and the first thing that I noticed was that my book of astrology was off the shelf and like perfectly placed on the floor. Now, at first I was like, okay, that's super weird because the crystal, which is much lighter than the book itself, that was right in front of it, was still in its exact spot, like hadn't even been shifted or moved, but yet the astrology book was on the floor. I remember I talked to Tyler about it and I was like, that is so odd. Probably just like flipped off the shelf and just managed to like fall face up and the crystal managed to stay on the shelf. That was really weird. Couple of days later, I leave my office for the night, like my office in my house here, go climb into bed, have a glass of wine, watch a movie, go to sleep, wake up the next morning, come into my office, look at this because I do different meditations with different crystals in the morning. And my chakra crystal is off of its stand and placed like perfectly directly next to like the stand. And so at this point, I'm like, what the heck? Like, how are things moving? Like, at least the book I could explain. The book maybe like tilted over, flipped over, landed. But how on earth did this just lift up off the stand and sit down right next to it? Like, it didn't make any sense to me at all. Turns out when I went to go talk to Tyler about this and say to him, like, look, I know the book thing was weird, but it was explainable. Why is this suddenly off the shelf in here? Like, I don't get it. And Tyler was like, that's really funny that you say that because some of my positive crystal things in like the studio, because this is my office, next door is like the music's next door. Yeah, next door. In the room next door is like our music studio. So we have our guitars, our pianos, our recording equipment. And Tyler has like his shelves that he films in front of that have all of his different crystals. And he said that he was noticing that some of his things just seemed like they were like moved out of place, but he assumed that I'd used them and like meditated with them, but I hadn't. So that was really odd. And we were like, well, you know, there's still no bad feeling in here. Like we still have no negative feeling attached to whatever is either passing by often or is here that we don't always feel. And so I don't think that it's a bad thing. I actually found it interesting that these positive crystals and positive things were being moved because it was almost as though maybe this was attracted to it. So we decided to just do like a cleansing with some of the different things that I bought and light them and cleanse the space. And so we did like the whole upper hall. Well, first we did the whole like upper hallway, like the bedrooms, all of that. And we didn't notice anything peculiar. And when we got into my office here and we went to go and like burn it the exact same way, these little like smoky black lines were all floating through the air in here. And I know it could definitely just be because I was burning something, but it hadn't happened in any of the other rooms. And when we came into my office, which is where like odd behavior had started happening, like I'd film in here and hear my name being called and like items in here were being moved, these like weird little squiggly black, I don't even know what's, were floating through the air. So if you guys know what the heck those are, it could very well just be due to us burning it, but it was just really interesting that it was like floating through the air like that only in my office. And Tyler even went to test it and went back out into the hallway and into other areas and it wasn't happening. So we were like, that is so odd. So then flash forward to like a couple of days later, my mom comes over to the house and she decides that she's gonna stay the night. She was staying here late. She was helping me out like with different work things and just like helping me out in general. And we're just working together and hanging out. And she decides to stay the night. So she was going to be sleeping in the guest room. Now, my mom isn't someone who is like crazy sensitive to things or, you know, I don't know how to explain it. She comes out on these investigations with me. She believes in it now, especially because she's been brought to these locations now, but she's not normally somebody who walks into a space and is like, it's haunted. So she's staying in there. And the next morning, she asked me if I was okay, like what was going on in the night. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she goes, I could have sworn on multiple occasions that I heard you running up and down the hallway calling for me. But when I went out to go see if you were okay, you weren't in the hallway and it seemed like the light was off in your bedroom. So I assumed that I was just like going crazy. And that was when I explained to her that Tyler had heard my voice. I heard Tyler's voice when it wasn't. I was not running up and down the hallway and I was not calling out for my mom up and down the hallway. So it's just like, what the heck is happening in here? In hindsight, a lot of these things, besides my mom hearing my voice and the things that Tyler and I have experienced that are just like undeniably strange, things could be explained away. So I'm really curious to know what you guys think. Do you think that we're reading a little bit too far into it because we've had experiences? Or do you guys really think like something odd is happening? One thing that I do know is the more that I've talked about this, the more that continues to occur. So I feel like it's either just making the energy stronger or attracting it even more. Maybe it was a spirit that passed through, and now that I'm acknowledging it and Tyler's acknowledging it, it's like, oh yeah, I'm here. Like, I'm gonna continue to make myself known. But either way, that is the update. You guys have been asking, and a lot of things have been happening. I will say that our washing machine, we've done a ton of laundry since that one instance we told you about, and it has not moved across the room ever again since that one day when we heard the banging, came upstairs, and it was like across the room. So I don't know, guys. I just really want to hear your opinion. You guys are my family, and it really just feels like old times here on my channel when I come on and share personal experiences with you, and I just know that those of you who really enjoy hearing from me don't judge me, and you give me your honest thoughts and opinions, and I appreciate that. So make sure you guys let me know in the comments below what you think is going on here. And that is my update, you guys. If you guys are new to my channel, or you are just not yet subscribed but you do enjoy my videos, I would really, really love it if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button. And please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness. And until next time, I love you.